been a long time. It's been a month, but hey, I've been working out though. Get this fat chin out of the way. But it's been yeah, it's been a while though. Yeah, I have a lot of work. Talk about tasks, Turo, and others. I guess fiber update on the fiber. Um, yeah, on the last Turo, he took that 6-day trip and took it to San Francisco, I think, because I saw on my fast track that he took it to the Bay, and I had to charge him for the expense. At least he told me. Usually people don't tell me. On TaskRabbit, man, I have a lot. So on yard work in Pasadena, that happened with my cousin. We did some yard work. Borrowed some stuff from my other cousin. That's funny that he was close by. The problem was that I guess he left the leaves, unmaintained, and the city came and told him that he had to clean up or he was gonna get a fine. So he called me. I guess he hired me like last minute. He wanted that day at 8 p.m. but it's kind of dark going to those hills. That's what my cousin told me later on. So therefore, I changed it in the morning. And changed in the morning. We got to work. It was not that bad. It was a lot of picking up leaves. We left a couple bags at his house, and then the pickup truck was full of leaves. I think it's on my Instagram, or I don't know if I did oh no, I didn't do a reel or those small clips. I mean, cause I had to like get to work. Plus, I think TaskRabbit's prices went up on their end, because I charged him $200 an hour, and we did 2 hours, so it's 400. But then he told me that it came to like 500. So like all those fees must have added up. Update, the garage is clean. It's kind of messy on that side, but on this side, I can feel my Bowflex. I mean, it's a small little Bowflex. Since TaskRabbit gave me an Amazon gift card, I use that for this little gym. Plus, I put like $500 more. My sister's boyfriend set it up for me. Well, I helped out too a little bit, not too much. I guess I had the tools, but he had the patience to build it, which it wasn't hard. It's just 4 pieces plus like little minor stuff that you had to add in between. But the build wasn't hard. But that day it was really hot. So yeah, it gets really hot in the garage. So yeah, we were sweating a lot. But yeah, we got it. Like, I don't know. I think we took like 3 hours. But one of those hours we took a break, like a long break. But let's get back to tasks. And then after that, I had a let me see what I got. It's been a month, so I should stop lagging on this. I guess 9 to 9. It was a back to my stuff here. Oh yeah, it was in Koreatown. That one was pretty easy. It wasn't far from where I used to stay at when I used to stay in LA. We had to move. Well, she had a little small pot. Like this one was like really maybe 4x4 pot. It's like a little square. It wasn't too much, but she had like boxes of books. But I brought my dolly, my hand dolly. I brought both hand dollies, and then I brought my furniture dolly. But the hand dollies did a lot of work. It was a nice place, where she stayed at. Koreatown has changed a lot since I lived there before. So it's more like becoming suburban, but instead of houses, they're building like condos. I mean, her place was nice, pretty quiet. We took a couple trips. Just the hard part was getting to her place. It was like so many securities that we had to go through. Because we couldn't go through the front door because it's I guess security issues, or I guess they didn't want us to break anything, so we had to go around the building, through the garage, and then through the elevators, which we could have just cut that and go through the front door, but I guess the building manager doesn't to want us to destroy the front part, so we had to do a circle, a half a circle, and then inside, and after that take the elevators. But it was simple because it was on the week. I think it was on the weekend, and it wasn't a lot of movement. There's not a lot of people moving in. It was just really quiet. Plus the door on the garage door and the elevators were not in the way, because they were automated. So we just press a button and it just stay still. So she made it really simple for us. So it took. She said 2 to 3 hours. We got that done in like an hour and a half. And then she told us to add 15 minutes more because we were so good. So, could make 2 hours, but 15 minutes, you know what I mean? I think it's like $35 every 15 minutes. I think I'm not really sure. I don't remember because it's 150, so you gotta divide that by 4. Yeah, no, nothing too major on that one. Just the boxes were heavy, like the books were heavy. And then what's the other one that we did? Oh yeah, the moving help. So we had a festival. That one's on the YouTube. I don't know if they call reels. I know Instagram calls it reels. The shorts. That one was okay. So she hired me. I think Friday. I remember it was Friday, and she wanted that at 3 o'clock. Cause I remember that one vivid. And so she wanted that. It's just neighbors moving. So she wanted it at 3 o'clock. It was right here, like not that far where I stay at. It's like where all the distribution centers at, the city of Gardena. And I was like, hey, I like getting the job done. So I thought I was just gonna pick up some like drinks, nothing too crazy. So I called my cousin and I told him, hey, we just gotta pick up some like drinks like for the festival, right? I didn't know I was the main guy, because we go there, and I go there like 12 to 1, and so the distribution lady was like, she didn't know who I was, and like there was so much confusion, but I guess it was like last minute thing, and I guess I must have mentioned somebody's name that she knew inside there, and then they were just calling back and forth, and they were like, who you're with. I'm like, hey, look, I'm the middleman, so there's like, I don't know much as you know, but I'm just here to pick up some drinks. I think I didn't know it was gonna be a pallet, and then I didn't know it was gonna be at least 16 of those pallets, and I have a pickup truck, so I was not expecting a big load, and so it was just a lot of confusion. I think they didn't even got paid that day, but so I was texting the client, hey, this was going on, and I guess her boss called me saying like what's going on. I was like, hey, look, it's a lot of pallets. I don't get maybe take like 1.5. I can't take 2. I think one pallet was at least 1 ton, and I think my truck could take, I think, a ton and a half. Yeah, I think that's the max. And they say that, and then the warehouse closed early because it was on a Friday. So the warehouse closed at, I think at 2 or 3, and I got there like no, it closed at 2. I remember it closed at 2, and I got there like at 1 something. So they were like, hey, look, we got to tell the guys to come back because we have to get it from the on top of the warehouse, and nobody's here. Everybody's going home. So whoever hired you like in a bad time, or like didn't have, I don't know, I guess there was some kind of miscommunication. So anyways, all that happened, and I guess the boss called me telling me like, how much can I take? I was like, I can only take a ton and a half. So, and I guess the guys that were there who were taking the distribution center say like, hey, we're gonna give you this one and that's it. And the weekends they were closed, so and it was like it was like for a 3 day festival. So I took what I can, and then I was like, all right, cool, because I thought I needed I didn't even bring ratchet straps, so I called my sister's boyfriend Tony, and I was like, hey, can you bring some just in case? And I ended up like just canceling that because they ended up not bringing the other pallet, because this pallet had all the like 4 different drinks, so that was okay. But she said like it was like 16, 17 pallets, so she said like at least 16, 17 trips you had to take, and that who knows how much that will take. And then I only had like at least 45 minutes, so I just took that one, and took it to the event, which was not that far from in Redondo Beach. And during the trip, I know because I know this place really well, and there's like a bunch of hills, and I'm having a pallet, so when you go up, the pallet starts coming back down. So I end up like coming to the house and getting some ratchet straps, and I didn't go up the hill. I avoided it, so I had to go around like a certain different street. But it was much easier like that because I avoided the hills. And yeah, I got there, and the place was like chaos. It was like the first. It was starting already, and I was like finding her, and then it was easy to find her, because I know when you know the place, like when you know the area, that you kind of know the place already. You just gotta find where it really is. So we end up parking like in this I don't think it was a cul-de-sac, but it was like one of those circles, like oh man, like I don't know what to call it. And then so we got there, I parked there, and we started loading it off. And there was this policeman that came. He was like, hey, really cool dude, he came there like, hey, I'm gonna stick by here because you have these drinks open, and anybody could just come and pick it up, which that was nice of him, because I didn't even think about that, because I will get the drinks and then we'll take it to the event. I had to go through the front entrance, and during that time, I guess the security guard had to like manage who's coming in, who's coming out, and then I guess some people just walked in the festival, and then he got yelled at because of that. So we had to like change the entrance, the way how we came in, how to check in, but that was kind of funny. And we were doing by hand, no dollies, because I assume, that's what happens when you assume that that task was gonna be like something small, but it ended up being something big. And so I told them, hey, you guys don't have I know you guys have a dolly, and they're like, oh yeah, we do. And I just grabbed the dolly and just picked it up and started picking up the pace. And then after that, I thought we were done. We ended up like taking like 3 hours doing that job, which was supposed to be at least an hour and something. So me about to be done, she was like, yeah, you could join the festival, but you could like you could chill here, but we have another job if you're interested. Because I told her like, okay, by 3 o'clock I'm done, but she assumed that like I was done for the whole day. I was like, no, I'm just like done. She was like, oh, can you pick up another pallet at the Compton Distribution Center, which is low. It's not that far from here, but like it was during Friday, so it was gonna be a lot of traffic. So, and I could only pick up one pallet. I think it was like 4 of them, but we ended up taking one, and then we ended up cutting that other one in half. So we like took 1.5. So we ended up taking like 3 trips, and that happened at 3. And we were just going back and forth. The thing that took a long time was the distribution centers. Even though I was like the only one there, it's just, I don't know, just they took so long. But it was pretty good money, so I was not complaining. But I would like to move quick, and because the quicker I finish, the quicker I could go to the festival. So I end up just we end up finishing like at 9 for the whole the whole task, you know. And then hold on, let me see. Yeah, so we end up finishing at 9, you know, and we end up going to a different area to drop it off, which was much smoother, because that's, I guess, where like the performers will enter, because they had performers too, and we just drop it off, and they had their own pallet jack, their own what do they call it? Yeah, their own pallet jacks that make everything quicker, and their own forklift too. So the loading and unloading was the easy part, but the getting the items were like was the patient game, because we had to like wait till, I don't know, till they find somebody. I don't know what inside the warehouse, because I never went inside the warehouse. I had to like stay outside. So that happened. So that was Friday. Yeah, that was Friday. That was Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, I didn't work. And then Monday, nothing came. Then Tuesday to Wednesday, they called us to pick up the, I guess, once the festival was done. Same people. Once the festival was done, I had to go pick up the pallets that were left over, because they were getting out for free anyways. So I had to take it back to their storage unit, which was not that far from where they stayed at. And so she was like, "Hey, you could rent a pallet jack," but like a pallet jack, like, and I explained her like how the pallet jack works. Like that one's cool to move it in like different locations, but to lift it, you need a forklift. And I guess that's where she got confused. I tell her like we had to do this by hand, or if somebody in the festival helps us to load it, you know. And then she like texted me like really late. So I ended up, it was like 4 pallet jacks that were left over. I don't know how many they had in total, because I didn't see how much they had in the beginning. Because I know I brought at least 5, and then they had other drinks there too. So hopefully they got rid of most of the stuff. And so I end up picking up these pallet jacks with my helper, and the loading was easy, you know, like someone loads it and then you just take it to the storage. But to unload it was the hard part, because we didn't have a forklift, so we had to do it by hand, and we had to like clean we'll kind of make the storage really clean, so everything be easy access to wherever they need to get. It's just not throwing stuff in and just forgetting about it. You also have to organize it. So we did that, and then that took a lot of time. And then we had to do it the next day, because the storage facility closed closed at 6, and the festival closed at 9. But by the time we get the other one, we were not gonna get inside the storage unit. So we ended up just like doing that task, and then the following day I came back by myself, and when I ended up finishing that last part, and then she ended up like wanting to pick up some stuff from another storage to the main office. So pretty much I went where I guess pretty much I saw who was hiring me, but nobody was there, so I just did a quick little delivery. But that was it, you know. It was a pretty interesting day with those clients. What else did I have? That whole event took, I guess that was from, I don't know what day what that was. I think like the 15th, I think, of this month. And then a lot of forfeits. The shopping ones, you know. I guess some guy wanted me to buy some Bitcoin, so no, you know that's fraud. Because it tells you on TaskRabbit. I guess they must have sent a PSA about that, and they say that no. Maybe it's kind of common sense, like no Bitcoins, no. I guess no store credit, nor not store credit, but those gift cards, and anything in that nature. That's like fraud, so skip that. And then during that whole Redondo festival, I had a unpacking and packing Pasadena, but I never got never got it because I was doing the festival job. And then during that time, I had a cash client. I haven't seen him for like I think 2 years. And then he wanted me to get a 12x9 carpet used. And it was like going like whole back and forth thing. And I told him, hey, look, if I'm gonna pick up your carpet, I need somebody to dump for the dumping area. There's gonna be a dumping fee. And he told me like, oh well, you could clean it and you could resell. Pretty much, he didn't want to like pay for that. So he ended up getting someone else. He like took that headache away from me. And then I had a youngster hire me for Turo. Not hire me, he hired like rent the truck. And he was like barely 21. He said he was gonna go up north. When people say up north to me, I assume like downtown LA. But he went like up north, Northern California. And I saw that the truck was in San Francisco again. And then he ended up extending the rental for 3 more days, which I was like, okay, whatever, because during the middle of the week I don't get a lot of tasks. So I told him, yeah, you could take the truck. I'm a great kid, and I guess he was helping his girl move over there. Hopefully he knows that long distance relationships don't work. What this other one I had to do? Oh yeah, some of these ones were like, some of them are like were easy, but I guess the UFC fight was on, so I ended up not like taking them. One was like I had the Camry, so this one was like 8 in the morning on a Sunday, and I was like, oh man, like anything on the weekend really early, I try not to do them because I'm out, and it's kind of really hard for me to wake up that early for like an hour job. But that hour job was like $150. But it was to pick up trash. But problem was that I had the Camry, I didn't have the truck, so I was not gonna risk it if it didn't fit in. So that's why I was like, oh man, like I wanted to do it, but at the same time that I didn't want to do it. And then so we had that one, and then we had the Hollywood job. That one's funny. The Hollywood job was in like right next to the Hollywood sign, next to the dam. It was a mess getting there because there's so many windy streets. But I saw where he stayed at, and he didn't stay one of those like hill areas like where there's no pavement. So he stayed like in a nice. Well, obviously like, the street is complete. It wasn't. He hired me for organize his storage inside the garage, and it wasn't a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff was I guess the previous owner, but I guess they're releasing it, so it was that the owner's stuff there. So all we had to do was just clean and organize, and pretty much it was just cleaning up stuff. And then we ended up like building a little storage facility for him inside the small little closet. And then we took some of the trash to the Camry, and yeah, and that was it. Pretty much it was simple. It was like it was an hour. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. And then it's just the neighbors using the items. So damn, it made me lose my track of time. So we had that, and yeah, no worries. And then we had that. I'm waiting till they leave. Okay, cool. So we had after that we had a Manhattan job. The Manhattan job I forfeit because that was the UFC fight. The other one was just because I didn't want to wake up early. That one was go up the attic. That's what she told me. She said it was gonna last 1 hour, but you never know with these jobs. Like throw whatever's on top of her attic and then organize it, and then some of the Christmas stuff that was on the in the downstairs or like wherever the attic was at goes up the attic. And I ended up not doing that one because I was watching the UFC fight this weekend, last weekend, this Saturday. So I ended up not doing it. And then what's the other one? The Cerritos job. The Cerritos job was a I think it was a moving. I don't know why because I'm in the garage. It's not working. Oh yeah. Okay. So in the Cerritos job, it was Cerritos to Fullerton, and we had to. It says that's a single story. It was a single story house. I didn't have the truck. I think I had. Oh, I did have the truck. Oh yeah, I was watching the fight too, so that one came in. So I had to turn it off because I was getting a lot of tasks that day. It looks simple, you know. It's just a lot of stuff, but like I said, like I was watching the fight, and then I also had another shopping. That one was kind of weird because he wanted a laptop from Walmart, and then the address he sent me was my old job in Walgreens, which was like kind of weird. Like I know everybody at that store, so I called somebody and they're like, nah, there's nobody some name by that. So I was like, oh man, it's probably a forfeit. But I hit up TaskRabbit, and yeah, everything went through. Like his credit card went through, and then he was a real client. So I was kind of confused, like, why would you give me a fake address? Or maybe he kind of messed up the address. But that one, he texted me on Sunday night, right? I think, no, Sunday night. So on Sunday night, and I guess TaskRabbit's office closes early, so I couldn't expense it without verification, so I had to wait the following day. And yeah, and I guess I got hit on the metrics, but it's okay if once they know that we were trying to get verification. And then they say everything was good, and then he texted me like early in that day, like 7 a.m. and I told him when I was gonna text him like between 9 or 10 a.m. And I texted him, I called him, and I waited like 10 minutes, and after that I just cancel the task, and I put it unresponsive. And so on those jobs you always gotta watch out, because you don't want to pay the item and then not get reimbursed. That's the only one I'm really careful about. Like on the other ones, like, you know, I wing it, or I assume, because I know what I'm doing. But if it's like your first time, just ask a lot of questions, even though you become annoying. But that's how you learn. You don't want to learn on the job, or you have to adapt to that task, and then you don't know how to get out of from it. If worst comes to worst, you just gotta like cancel it. Like, hey, look, this is too much for me, and then just walk away. But if you already started, then you gotta finish everything through. But I just ask questions. When I first began, I asked questions. Now that I know a little bit, everything's a little repetitive, and then you kind of know what to expect. Sometimes they'll throw you a curveball, but at least you know what kind of curveballs it is. You know, like especially if you've already seen it so many times, you already know what to expect. Sometimes there's new things that happen, but most of the time it's nothing major. But always be aware. That's what I say. I mean, once you start doing like always like the same thing over and over, obviously you're gonna see a pattern. But yeah, you know, all that new stuff, you know, like it works out at the end. Honestly, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, I got my new Bowflex, working out. Hopefully, my dad or my mom doesn't fill up the space that I clean, and that's the update.